and if particular, if we can have Scott Dobson, Tim Holoman, Mark Johnston, and their friends and family come up, as much as you may have thought you were brought in today for different reasons, from national news to an award for Ray Carter. Really, we're here to honor these three great gentlemen and their careers in the local news industry. Please, everybody.
Good morning.
You know, one of the great things in the years here, working as a staff member, really even before as a council member, is you get to build a different relationship with some members of the media and have really in-depth conversations. And the photojournalists who work with them, who several people here will tell you really are the artists behind the story, become your friends. And I've had the pleasure of working with these three gentlemen for many years, and we want to recognize their long-term commitment to the city. Whereas three WPXI photojournalists, Scott Dobson, Tim Holoman, and Mark Johnston, are leaving their positions after long and accomplished careers. And whereas Scott Dobson graduated from Syracuse University with degrees in television production and psychology, and launched his career in the Scranton and Cincinnati news markets before joining WPXI 30 years ago as a photojournalist covering local government. And whereas after a 36-year career, Scott will be leaving the television news business to begin a new position as Director of Photography at the Creative Services, and will continue his work as a scoreboard videographer for the Pirates, Steelers, Penguins, and University of Pittsburgh Panthers. And whereas Scott, whose motto has always been, "If your picture is not good enough, you are not close enough," lives in nearby Ross Township with his wife Susan of 27 years, and together they have a son Kyle, who is 24 years old. And whereas after graduating from the University of Pittsburgh in 1980 with a degree in journalism, Tim Holoman joined WPXI as an intern and shortly thereafter became a full-time photographer, a position he has held ever since. And whereas over his 36-year career, Tim has earned numerous Golden Quill and Ed Romano Awards and 2 Emmy Awards for his coverage of local, state, and federal government, major events such as the San Francisco earthquake and the attacks on the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Steelers Super Bowls, and Penguins Stanley Cups. And whereas 10 years ago, after he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, Tim received a stem cell transplant and quickly returned to the job he loved. And this year, after Tim retires from WPXI, he plans to spend time with his wife Leslie and their 2 grown children, Tom and Lindsay, and their new grandson. And whereas Mark Johnston began his career with WPXI as a film editor and rose through the ranks to become chief photographer in 1997. And whereas over his 38-year career, Mark covered prominent stories locally, nationally, and internationally, including the 72-hour Q Creek mine rescue in Somerset and the funeral of Pope John Paul II in the Vatican. And whereas at the end of this month, Mark will be transitioning into life as a retiree with his wife of 37 years, Denise, and their sons, Rob, AJ, and Chris, 2 of whom are continuing in their father's legacy as employees of WPXI. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize Scott Dobson, Tim Holoman, and Mark Johnston for their decades of service to the Pittsburgh region and their commitment to providing city residents with high-quality news media. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare March 29, 2016 to be WPXI Class of 2016 Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May I have a motion and a second, please? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
I'm humbled and I'm honored. And I'd like to thank my wife, Leslie, for putting up with all the times being called out in the middle of the night to cover stories, and she knows how tough it can be. I'd like to thank my son Thomas and his wife Emily and my brand new grandson Henry, who is here. I'd like to thank my mother and father, Pat and Rich Holoman. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Great role models for me. I also like to thank my sister Tricia and my brother-in-law Dave back there. They really are the meaning of what a family is supposed to be. And thanks again.
Well said, Tim. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time working for WPXI, and the managers are excellent. Just really, really stellar group. It's been a good time, and I'm also thankful to my family, my wife Denise, and my sons and everyone, and we'll keep it short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gilman. Thank you, Council. You ever wonder what a couple of decades of news photography will do? You can see what the three of us might share here. I particularly want to thank Councilman Gilman. There's a sign on that door back there that says, "Council staff only." That sign went up the day after Andy Gassmeyer and I chased Councilman Furlow one time. So, in light of that, I guess we're forgiven. But thank you very much. Thank you for my wife, Sue, and my son, Kyle. It really is kind of an odd job with ridiculous hours and call-ins, and it does take a toll on the family. Thank you.
That's great.
And I first want to thank Rick Earl. He was the mastermind with me one day. I don't know how they actually fell for why we needed so many photojournalists for one story. Yeah, in ties, but we got it to work off. And I know we have a lot of the leadership here from PXI. If a gentlemen want to come up and say a few words.
For taking the time to recognize three of the best journalists this city has ever seen. It's hard to lose 100+ years of news photography experience in one fell swoop. But people like this are why the city is special and why Channel 11 is special. And I want to thank everyone again for taking the time to recognize three great guys.
I'm Ray Carter. I'm the general manager of WPXI, and it's my privilege to have worked with these gentlemen for the last 15 years. And when you've got a staff of reporters, photographers, people behind the scenes, people in front of the camera, you're never supposed to have favorites. Just like my children, I don't have any favorites, but quietly and confidentially, these are three of my favorites. They never complain. They work hard. They gave all. When it was 3 below or 103, they were out in the elements. They were chasing down what they needed to chase down for news, and I will be forever grateful, not for just their professional accomplishments, but for the kind of men that they were. Honorable, respectful, hardworking. This is the kind of employee we should all aspire to be. So thank you to them.
Please, anyone want to come up? Someone's got to represent the other side of the camera and say a few words.
They're really letting you guys retire? They didn't ask me first. I speak for anybody in front of the camera, and there's a great one right back there, Tony Ruffolo, that they literally make us look way better than we really look. And what's great about these guys and so many others at our station is they don't just record the sound and the pictures. They truly are journalists. They could write the stories many times better than the reporters do, and it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you guys. And I hope I get to see you around. I really do. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Thanks, Dan. You can come up on the steps.